Hello children, welcome back our next online class. In this class we should learn about geography second chapter. In this class we are going to study about what is the meaning of a land, what is land use and conservation of land resources, soil, how soil is formed, what is soil erosion and soil conservation. Before starting this lesson, first we should study about what is resources and what is natural resources. Anything that can be used to satisfy a need is called resources. Resources that are drawn from nature and used without much modification are called natural resources. For example, soil, minerals, air, sun and water. Our first topic is land. Land is among the most important natural resources. Land covers about 30% of the total area of the earth's surface. 90% of the world population occupies only 30% of the land area. The remaining 70% of land is either sparsely populated or uninhabited. Land is unevenly inhabited due to various factors of land and climate, water, fertility of soil, etc. Normally, the sparsely populated or uninhabited areas are because of rugged topography, steep slopes of the mountain, deserted areas and thickly forested areas. The densely populated areas of the world have plains, river valleys which have suitable land for agriculture. The next one is what is land use. Land use refers to the use of land for different purposes such as agriculture, forestry, mining, building houses, roads and setting up of industries. The next one is what are the factors affecting land use. There are two main factors which affect land uses. The first one is physical factors and the second one is human factors. Physical factors include topography, soil, climate and availability of water. Human factors include population and technology. On the basis of ownership, land can be classified as private and community land. Private land is owned by an individual or family members and is used for personal purposes like house is a private land. Community land is owned by the community for common uses and can be used by anyone in the society like collection of fodder, fruits, nuts or medical herbs. These community lands are also called common property resources. The next topic is conservation of land resources. Growing population and their ever-growing demand had led to a large-scale destruction of forest cover and arable land, and has created a fear of losing these natural resources. Here, some points are mentioned for conservation of land resources. The first one, prevent a land from pollution. The disposal of hazardous radioactive waste into the soil must be prohibited. The use of chemical fertilizer and pesticide should be minimized. By reusing and recycling of solid waste such as paper, metal parts, plastic, glass articles. And the last one is soil erosion should be prevented. The next topic is soil. Soil is the thin layer of grainy substance covering the surface of the earth. Soil is made up of organic matter, minerals and weathered rock found on earth. Soil profile refers to the layered structure which is spread from parent rock to the top soil surface. The four layers of soil profile are: first layer, top soil with humus and vegetation; second layer, subsoil with the sand, silt and clay; third layer, weathered rock material; fourth layer, parent rock. The next video is related to this topic. What are the factors of soil formation? The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and climatic factors. The other factors of soil formation are the topography, role of organic material, and time taken from composition of soil formation. Parent rock determine the color, texture, chemical properties, minerals, content and permeability of the soil. The next topic is what are the factors affect soil formation. The major factors of soil formation are the nature of the parent rock and climatic factors. The other factors of soil formation are the topography, a role of organic material and time taken for composition of soil formation. Parent rock determine the color, texture, chemical properties, minerals, content of the soil. Flora, fauna and microorganisms affect the rate of humus formation of soil. Climate determines temperature and rainfall which influence the rate of weathering and humus in process of soil formation. Time determines the thickness of soil profile. It takes hundreds of years to make just 1 centimeter of soil.
Our topic for today is soil formation. Soil is formed by the combination of physical, chemical and biological processes in which huge rocks are broken down into smaller particles over a long period of time. Rocks undergo a process of expansion and contraction in which they expand during the day and contract during the night due to the constant rise and fall in temperature. However, not all parts of a rock undergo expansion and contraction at the same rate, resulting in the formation of cracks. Gradually, these cracks cause the rocks to break down into smaller pieces. With time, these smaller pieces convert into particles and form soil. Water plays an important role in soil formation. Water that gets collected in the cracks of rocks sometimes freezes, which helps in widening the cracks. Also, flowing river water helps in the wearing down of rocks over time, which results in the formation of soil. Strong blowing winds also rub against rocks and help in wearing them down. Lastly, some living organisms like lichens that grow on rock surfaces release certain substances that cause rock surfaces to powder down and form a thin layer of soil.
The next topic is degradation of soil and conservation measures. The major threat to soil are soil erosion and depletion. Human beings and natural factors are responsible for degradation of soils. Deforestation, overgrazing, overuse of chemical fertilizers or pesticide, rainwater, landslides and floods are the factors which leads to soil degradation. Soil erosion is the displacement of the upper layer of soil. It is a form of soil degradation. Soil conservation is the prevention of loss of the topmost layer of the soil from erosion or prevention of reduced fertility caused by overusage, acidification, salinization or other chemical soil contamination.
What happens when the wind blows hard or if the water current is fast? Often the top layer of soil is blown away by wind or washed away by the water. This removal of the topsoil from a place due to the wind or water is called soil erosion. Wind is one of the main agents of soil erosion. Wind blows away topsoil from the places where there is no vegetation. Roots of plants hold the soil in place. The speed of wind is reduced if there are many plants. The soil erosion will be less in such places. Soil erosion by wind is the most common in the deserts. In absence of vegetation, water also washes away the soil particles. Soil erosion by water is most common in hilly places where rivers carry the topsoil down the slope. This soil is deposited in plains by the river. When the soil deposit increases, the river is forced to change its course. The river changes path to flow on land, thereby causing floods. Soil erosion is also caused by human action. One such action is cutting down of trees. This is called deforestation. The roots of the plants hold the soil. The protection to the soil by roots of the plants is removed, so soil gets easily eroded by the wind or the water. And what about animals? Allowing the cattle to overgraze exposes the soil by removing the plant covering. This also leads to soil erosion. If the land is left uncultivated after cutting the crops, the soil gets eroded fast. Plowing the soil on the slopes loosens the soil and it gets carried away by wind or water. So we summarize that the agents which cause soil erosion are wind, water, human activities like deforestation, overgrazing of cattle, leaving uncultivated land, plowing on the hills. So what steps should be taken to protect the soil from erosion? When the soil is protected from erosion, it is called soil conservation. Soil can be conserved by planting trees. Planting new trees to cover a large area is called afforestation. Have you seen the tea or coffee plantations in the hilly regions? Why are they in form of stairs? For climbing on them? No, the hill areas are slanting, so the rainwater flows very fast, unlike in the plains. As the water flows, it carries the topsoil with it. To avoid this, the farming is done in steps. This cutting step on the slopes or terraces is called as terrace farming. This reduces speed of flowing water and the soil carried by water from one step is deposited on next step. This prevents soil erosion. Why are the tall plants or trees grown along the sides of a farmland? Growing fencing plants and trees along the farmland reduces the speed of the wind and the soil erosion. And how can the soil be prevented from getting washed away by the river? For this, embankments are built along the river banks. This not only prevents soil erosion from the banks, but also prevents the river from flooding the fields. So, we saw soil conservation can be done in 4 ways. First, by planting more and more new trees, which is called afforestation. Second, by doing terrace farming in the hilly regions. Third, by growing fencing plants and trees along the farmland. And lastly, by building embankments along the river banks. As we saw, it took millions of years for the soil to be formed. But it can be eroded in very less time by the wind or the water if proper care is not taken. This would be hazardous to us only. So, we should preserve the precious soil by growing more and more trees and ensuring that the trees are not cut down unnecessarily.
Here, some methods of soil conservation are listed. The first one, mulching. The second one, counter barriers. Third one, a rock dam. Fourth one, terrace farming. Fifth one, intercropping. And sixth one, shelter belt. The first one is mulching. Mulching is the method in which the bare ground between plants is covered with a layer of organic matter like straw. It helps to retain soil moisture. The second one, counter barrier. Counter barrier is the method in which stone, grass, soil are used to build barriers along counters. Trenches are made in front of them to collect water. The third one is terrace farming. Terrace farming means broad flat steps or terraces are made on the steep slopes so that flat surfaces are available to grow crops. The next one, intercropping. Intercropping means different crops are grown in alternate rows and are sown at different times to protect the soil from rainwash. And the last one is shelter belts. Shelter belts are the rows of trees planted to check the wind movement to protect soil cover. Dear children, please read this table and find out the answers given below.